Okay, another episode all relevant good here on the Crawford Podcasting Network. I'm feeling more energy every week. Now, two in a row here. It was so great to be back with you, Rich, last week for All Relevant Good. The former Michigan four-time starter, two-time Big Ten champion from Riviera Beach, Florida, Suncoast High, Richard Rellford. How you
Well,
doing, Rich?
Tom, thank you. And it is so nice to be back with you, to
Yeah,
have you and starting to get back to your old self.
I
That's why
am.
I do these podcasts, is my man, because I
Yeah.
want you to get back to your old self because it's a wonderful thing that to have you back and we win
Yeah,
it.
I'll tell you what, that was like this weekend, the win over, the dicey win over UC San Diego, got through that and then knocking off a really good Texas A&M team. That was like getting three steroid shots at the same time. All the pain just like boom, gone, gone, gone. Michigan's in the Sweet 16. And you know what, Rich? I want your opinion on this. I know you'll bring it. Uh, this team this team can beat Auburn. They're playing with house money, and they got no
Yes.
pressure on them. And what are your thoughts about their chances Friday night?
Well, I got to tell you, Tom, I've been talking to some of my friends, and some think I'm crazy, some don't. But I got two 7 footers who gonna be NBA players when they do playing college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna go against those guys because I think, yeah, Auburn's tough. They got an NBA guy to a lottery pick. But you know what? We got more than just our two guys.
Yeah,
We have a starting five and a bench that is pretty good. But I
yeah,
keep telling you, my key is my point guard.
yeah,
Your point guard at Auburn better be ready to play because the one we got used to be there, and he coming with vengeance.
yeah, yeah. Trey Donaldson. He had some sporadic moments during the year, but
Mhm.
I'm telling you what. You go back to the Maryland game, the Big Ten tournament. He goes 94 feet, and he wins the game for him. He had that big, against UC San Diego. San Diego went up by
Mhm.
two with 2.5 to go. He hits that big three. And then
Right.
that sweeping left hook that put Michigan up by 5 against A&M.
Okay.
That was huge when A&M was knocking on the door because Michigan kept the door open. They missed a
Yes.
lot of
Yes.
closeouts. You know what I mean? And
Well,
he made big plays.
you know what? My thing was he made them at the end. Still, my biggest problem with us is we have to make free throws
Yeah,
and open shots we hit. I'm not worried about that, but we still have to stop turning it over, Tom.
yeah, yeah. We had
We
nine
turn it
though.
over.
We had 9 turnovers. That for Michigan, that's huge. And then the free throws got better than it did.
Yes.
29 36. You
Yes.
missed 7. And then when you miss a front end of a 1-and-1, that's like a turnover. But
Yes.
Vlad Golden was 9 of 11. And now let's talk about this guy. He's from New York. He transferred from Ohio State. Roddy Gale Jr. 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Rich,
Yes.
26
Yes.
points. He's your kind of guy.
Listen, I was so happy for Roddy Gale because he was having a tough season,
Yeah,
and everybody was talking that craziness about him and being in Ohio State. Well, you know what? This was Roddy Gale's breakout game.
it was.
This is the game that he needed to solidify himself as a Michigan basketball player and not a Buckeye. And you got us because of you. You're one of the big reasons that we got to the Sweet 16.
I want to ask you. I followed your career. The 4 years you were there. I was at Chrysler, um,
Mhm.
and you had a pretty consistent career. You started. You played all 4 seasons. You were a prominent player, and you were
Mhm.
steady. You didn't have this slumps and stuff. You were just kind of steady, great rebounder, good score, and all that stuff. Did you ever go through a bad a bad phase? Where you had a couple of games, and then how did you get out of it? Nick Saban talks about this all the time about mental
Right.
toughness, how you work your way from adversity. It's the biggest challenge in athletics. Did you have
Mhm.
those moments like a Roddy Gale?
Oh, oh,
And how did you get through it?
I had those. I had a couple moments to where nothing would fall for me. But when you have good teammates like a Butch Wade and a Roy Tarpley and an Antoine Joe Bear and a Gary Grant, They're gonna
Mhm.
pick you up, man. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you that's what they're doing with Roddy at Michigan right now. Your teammates are your brothers. They're gonna pick you up. When you
Yeah.
down, when you ain't got nothing, when you feel like nothing's going right, they're gonna pick you up. And that's what we did. We never really had what they call these player only meetings. We never had those
Yeah.
because we didn't need to. We met on the floor.
Yeah.
And that was the difference in the games.
Yeah, yeah, I tell you what, and you know what, the strange dynamic of this Sweet 16, it shows you what the transfer portal has done because the mid majors are being wiped out because they're grabbing those players, and so of the 16 teams, they are all from Power Four teams. Starting out with
Yes.
7 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, 4 from the Big 12, 1 from the ACC. It's you know and all these coaches are going off talking about the transfer portal. I mean, what would that have been like for you? I mean, because you played 4 years. You're like the Purdue guys right now.
Right.
You're like, those Purdue guys are like you, which is now very unusual. I mean, would you have been tempted to do what you did, or would you have stayed at Michigan? Why don't you be totally honest with me about that?
I would have stayed at Michigan.
Yeah,
You want to know why I would have stayed at Michigan? Because the love that they showed me when I first got there and the alumni. The
yeah,
alumni were great to us. They
yeah,
looked out for us. If it wasn't for people like Perry and Thanos to places that we could go to eat and kind of
yeah,
congregate as a team and sit back and stay in these places as long as we wanted, hours if we wanted, it
yeah,
made it easy. I
yeah,
didn't believe in transferring because that's like running to me. I
yeah,
get it if you're not playing a lot and you want to play more. I get the transfer portal.
yeah,
But for me, the guy who recruited me, Mike Boyd, was the reason I stayed there because Mike
yeah,
stayed. None of our coaches ever said, "Oh, I'm taking looking for another job." Coach
yeah,
Fisher, he was the same way.
yeah,
I used to hear Coach Fisher say things to us to make us like really grind, make us really want to be there.
yeah, yeah. Now, okay, I want you, and you'll be totally candid with me about this. The
Always, always.
NIL money, in Michigan is pretty good position as this is a pretty wealthy
Right.
school. I mean, you can see why players do that, right? Or do you feel like the loyalty to the program should be a higher level than it is?
Well, the loyalty has changed now because of the NIL. Kids play because they want to get
Yeah,
paid now. What
yeah,
nobody understands is this. All of this NIL money is great, but nobody's telling these kids, I hope you have that if you don't make it. I hope
yeah,
all that money that they're giving you that you're saved.
yeah,
Because you get $1 million in NIL, the first thing the kids do is go out, buy your mama a house. I
yeah,
get that part. But that should be at your limit. That should be it. Because
yeah,
now you have to wait to see how your career is going to go. Because look at what they're giving these freshmen. I told you, I think about this kid at Michigan. We gave him $10 million as a quarterback.
yeah, yeah.
10 million.
I know. It's crazy.
Well,
That really is crazy, and that really hasn't set in. And I think it's going to really set in next year. If he has a couple of bad games, I mean, I can just imagine the negative feedback that's going to be flying around, or if he doesn't even start because there's a transfer from
well,
Colorado who might take his job anyway.
I think he's going to start because I've watched him. I think he's a pretty big kid and a pretty amazing thrower. My thing is I told some of my friends, Tom, if he can his first year, if he beats Michigan State and
Yeah,
Ohio State, he'll be a god
yeah,
at Michigan. They're
yeah,
not going to care if we just want to beat those two. I talked to some friends. I keep telling you, I always talk about it. What's more important, national championship or beating Ohio State? And all the Michigan guys will tell you the same thing: beating Ohio State. That's
yeah.
more important than the national championship. And I
Well,
love that part about it.
you got to do that. Yeah. So let's get back to this upcoming. Let's call it opportunity for the Wolverines. They're playing Auburn, and so I personally think, Rich, Michigan's going to beat Auburn. And it's not love goggles. I just got this gut feeling. I have a gut feeling it's going to be Michigan State in the Elite Eight. Okay. Now you're a good person to ask this question because despite the fact your junior and senior year, 85, 86, you swept Michigan State in 85. But in '86, even though you won the Big Ten title, you got swept by Michigan State. Okay, and there
Yes.
Scott Skiles. I mean, that was Larry Pollock and Daryl Johnson. I mean, that was a good team. Okay,
Yes.
was that team? Okay, so if you'd played them a third time, you think you would have beat them? And what would have been different that would allow you to beat them that did not work at double-digit losses both in East Lansing and in Ann Arbor?
I think a third time we'd have beat them simply because by law of nature, you don't lose 3 in a row to one team.
Is that right? You really okay? You think that is
Yes.
okay? So you're saying if Michigan plays Michigan State next Sunday in the Elite Eight for a berth in the Final Four, you're confident Michigan's going to come out on top.
And we're going to beat them by 10, at least 10. Because everybody's just assuming that Michigan State's going to beat us if we play them because they beat us twice. I guarantee you those kids on Michigan's team is not sitting back thinking, no, they're going to beat us the third time. It's not going to happen. Yeah. I guarantee you Wolf and Gold, they're going to be different. Yeah. Barnett going to be different. Donaldson going to be different. Because like now, I'm playing at the Park now. We're playing at the Y. Because you're going to play me 3 times. Come on, man. It's time. Something got to change.
Yeah. And then LJ Kaysen has really come on. And, you know, and people get tired of me doing this analogy because I think he goes downhill to the hoop very much like Karis LeVert did early on. He's very aggressive. And, I mean, this cat is unbelievable. I mean, where did this come from? And where's his upside? I mean, where's his ceiling? He's going to be pretty good.
That's my Florida guy.
Yeah.
That's my Florida guy, Lakeland, Florida. And I'm going to tell you, Tom, his upside is amazing. Yeah. They're lucky now that they'll have him next year because he's our energy. He's the energy. When Kaysen comes in, he is the energy.
That's the number one thing he brings.
Yes, he's the energy.
On both sides of the court.
Yes, right. And with the defense and the offense. Listen, Coach May has done a great job there. Mm-hmm. I heard some bickering when we lost the state before.
Yeah.
But we're pretty dang on lucky to have Coach May.
I know.
Because do you ever notice that with our team, our temperament is the same the whole game? It never changes. Nobody gets rattled because that's Coach May. Because he's a calm dude. You don't see him over there yelling and screaming. No. He's always calm when you see him, and that's what I love about our team.
Yeah, you know, he did a lot of, and I'm big on this offense defense substitutions when someone's in foul trouble.
Yes,
like Vlad. My God, Vlad went in and out of that of you know, as far as at the scorers table about 20 times in the last.
Yes, I agree. Yes, I saw that. I loved it.
I mean that's attention to every freaking detail there is, and it kept him from fouling out.
And that's exactly what he did it for.
Yeah.
So to keep him from fouling out.
Yeah.
I just think though, with Goldman, when he get that ball in the paint, it's just hard to stop him. Because at 7'1", he has a wonderful left-hand jump hook.
Yeah.
It is wonderful. And I tell people all the time, the jump hook is one of the best shots to be created by a player. If you can learn a jump hook, it gets you through many, many things. And with Gold, you see it. You see how he plays that ball around that basket. Yeah. And he's going to dunk it. If he's close enough, he's going to dunk it on him. That's one of our big things. I know Roy Tarpley would love him. Yeah. Roy would love him because he dunks everything in the paint. And that's all Roy ever did. He said, if I'm in the paint, I'm going to dunk it.
Well, I mean, and sometimes Vlad doesn't dunk it. And he doesn't close. And, you know, we have these frustrating moments. I'm sure you ran into it watching him.
Yes, I get frustrated.
Damn ball. Just dunk it.
Yes. Oh, we in my house, we screaming about it because we definitely want him to dunk it. And my thing is it's not as easy all the time because he's not thinking about it. Yeah. If you put it in your mindset, that's one thing I loved about Chris Webber. Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. Chris Webber. One thing about Chris Webber is every time I watched him play, if he got it in the paint, dunk. That was Chris.
It was done. He had long, and you know the other thing about Chris Webber, and we're going off one. That guy was a rim protector, like he did not get enough credit for.
Yes, he played great defense. You're right. I thought he played good defense.
That was a great defensive team. Okay, so but before we close and we're wrapping this thing, I mean, I want to get into Danny Wolf because Dusty May said this week that he assumes that Danny's going to be in the NBA next year. And, you know, we were just talking about that with my friends the other day. Danny Wolf, I mean, if he's going to slide down the first round, why does he come back? But, I mean, when I watch Danny Wolf, man, there's got some liabilities, though, Rich. I mean, he does some great things, but, man, he is a liability to me, and I think he would benefit from another year. What are your thoughts on that?
I would love for him to come back another year because I think it will sharpen his skills. But if they get to the Final Four, he's gone.
Yeah,
He's gonna go.
yeah,
I'm with you. I think that come back another year because you know what? It's not about the money anymore because the NIL is taking care of all of that.
money.
Right. So it's the NIL will take care of you. I just think somebody needs to get to him and let him know, Danny, come back 1 year. We already know you can handle the workload.
Yeah,
School is not a problem. You're a pretty smart kid.
yeah,
Come back for another year. You don't. I never understood that either. I get guys whose families are struggling and they want to get out and they want to take care of mama and take care of everybody. I get that.
yeah, yeah,
But if you're not like that, if your mom and dad is in pretty good health
yeah.
and they're pretty good financially, stay another year, man. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if they had told me I could stay a fifth year at the University of Michigan, I
I
would
know,
stay the fifth year.
I know
Simple as that.
you love the Maze, but
Yep.
another caveat I got to throw at you because it was a strange situation with Justin Pippen, Scotty's kid. I mean, he's jumping the portal. Michigan's still in the tournament, which I think is stupid. You go into portal, but we're trying to figure out what's the deal with Justin Pippen, and now he's transferring. Does he epitomize? He does. He does to me, and I'll ask your opinion. Guys don't stay and fight for playing time. They take the easy way out. Hey, we'll go play somewhere else. Doesn't that frustrate you as a basketball alumnus to watch that happen?
It does because you know what we did. All of our guys never transferred because
Yeah,
you earned the time. If you
yeah,
want to play more, well, practice more.
yeah,
That's how the game is. You
yeah,
don't leave because this guy in front of me is getting more minutes. First of all, young fella, you're a freshman.
yeah.
You're playing with juniors and seniors.
You're right.
You're not going to play as much as you want to play because
Yeah,
that's how it goes. I laugh because here we have a pro team called the Wranglers, and
yeah,
my cousin name is Magic Rellford. And Tom, I went to see him play, and he is unbelievable. He had like 30 something I saw him, but he's a rookie, and so he
yeah,
don't start.
yeah,
And his dad, Lee, told me, he said, Rich, he doesn't start because he's a rookie. I got that, and he's right. You got to pay your dues, man.
yeah, yeah,
Everybody pays their dues. At Michigan, you got to pay your dues. I was lucky because I came in, we didn't have but a couple seniors, and at my
yeah.
position, we had no one.
You had all freshmen. I mean, you were
Right,
like the first Fab Five. I mean, in
right,
reality.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly. And so what we wanted to do, and I always think about Thad Garner.
yeah,
Thad used to come in and work. He
yeah,
taught us how to work hard
yeah. He just passed
because he
away.
was a grad assistant. He just passed away.
Yeah,
He used to tell us, him, Leo, Ike Person, all these guys, the older guys, they used to say, yo, man, you got to work. We're not going to give it to you. You
yeah,
might be better than me, but you're not going to get it. We're not going to give it to you. And that's
yeah,
how you have to do it. You have to work,
yeah,
Tom. That's what
yeah.
it's about.
Did you? How hard did you work your freshman year? I mean,
I was
how?
in the gym when Coach Frieda said practice was at 3:30. My class finished at 1. We was at the gym by 1:30 because we wanted to get shots in. We wanted to get, because we knew if we played together, no one could beat us because I watched these kids in practice.
Yeah,
Ask Glenn Rice. I always tell people, ask Glenn Rice how our practices was when he's a freshman and we were seniors. He'll
yeah,
tell you.
yeah. Oh yeah, I know. And he went. Look where he took it. I'll tell you what,
Right.
Red. I mean, I'm looking forward to next week. We got another guest coming on with us again next
Yes.
week, and hopefully we'll be talking about a Final Four berth for the Michigan Wolverines. But even if they fall short, we can bask in the success of this Dusty May team. I think he's done an amazing job. I know a couple of weeks ago after that game in East Lansing, we were a little discouraged, but man, he flipped the script. And we got the right coach there in Ann Arbor, don't you think?
We got the right coach and Coach May, man. I'm happy we got him. I looked at his road to get to where he is now from
Yeah,
being just a trainer. He paid his dues, Tom. He deserves to get everything that he's getting.
he did. All right, Rich, great job. We'll talk to you next week. Hail, hail, go blue, and have a great run. Enjoy all the games.
All right, my man. Go blue.
All right, see ya.